Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, a Landmark Titles social media strategist and educator. Get the pleasure of bringing you Marketing Matters live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. For the month of July, we're going to talk about sellers, different techniques that you, my friends, can use with your sellers. It's tough out there right now. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition, not only for real estate, but for sellers. There are about 18,000 homes on the market right now. So we're approaching a fairly healthy market. So that means it's not as beneficial as it has been the last couple of years for sellers. So what are the tactics that you're going to do to really lock them down and build that trust and confidence? So speaking of trust, that's exactly what we're talking about today. So we're talking about building trust with your follow-ups and marketing strategies after you make that first call. How are you going to build trust? How are your clients going to get to know, like, and trust you after you make that initial contact? So we're going to dive into these great topics today. I'm super excited because follow-up in this industry is everything. So that's why we're kicking off the month with follow-up and why this is so important and why it matters. So we all know, and I repeat this time and time again, that the most important thing you can do with your clients is to build that trust. Clients are going to work with people that they know, like, and trust, right? So following up is just the first step. This is the first webinar of the month. It's the first step to really making that connection. 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after your first initial meeting, but only 44% of salespeople will follow up after that one. So guys, don't be that 44%. You've got to make these follow-ups. So here are going to be some of the techniques and tactics that you can use when it comes to following up. So the first thing is understand what you're doing here in the very beginning with that first call. It all starts like with that initial meeting, right? First impressions are really important in this industry. A lot of times real estate agents get kind of a bad rap. So that first call or first meeting is really important. You need to understand about your seller. What are their reasons? Why are they moving? What kind of timeline are they looking at? I know this sounds like very basic ideas, but a lot of times we go to that first call or that first meeting and we want to sell ourselves, right? But you are not there just to sell yourself. You're there to understand what your clients need from you. I know if you're been in real estate a long time, you probably have a really good idea of what they need, but let them tell you. That's really important in your first step. And then set the stage for communication and follow-up. I've had realtors on here before that say they're going to follow up a lot, and you should follow up a lot with your clients. But setting that expectation right off the bat is a really good baseline to set. That way, as you follow up, your clients are like, wow, this real estate agent is really pushy. Why do they reach out so much? Because you do that because you told them you are going to do that. So set that baseline right in the very beginning. Tell them what your strategy of follow-up is. And that you'll be sending them information, whether it's market stats or whatever it is. You're gonna be following up a lot with them. Let them know that right off the bat. And then ask the key questions, right? What are their main priorities when selling a home? Have you had any previous experience with real estate agents? Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions right off the bat with them. Get a sense really for what they're looking for, not just for moving, but in a real estate agent, right? If you know what their expectations are of you, you'll be able to manage those a lot better as well. And then timing. Timing really is key. It can be once you got in, you're working with someone, you're so excited, you're like, oh, finally I'm gonna get a paycheck, right? But timing really is important. You don't want to overwhelm them and you don't want to underwhelm them. You don't want to fall out of being top of mind. You want to stay top of mind. So there are some really good key timing elements that you can follow along. So the optimal timing for follow-ups is first, send an email within 24 hours of the first call. Make sure that you are rolling right into being in business with your clients. And then the frequency. Once again, set out the timing outline for your clients right when you meet them. Have it, you can even have it written down. Like some people are visual learners. They want to see these things written down, but make sure you communicate that because you are going to be doing a lot of communication with them. So following up and the frequency every few days initially, right? Stay top of mind. Don't lose out. If there's other realtors that they've met with, don't let those other realtors be more top of mind than you. And then after the first few days of reaching out on a regular basis, then you can go into a weekly contact if there is no immediate response. If they're excited and they want to work with you, you will have that rapport back and forth, but also understand that sometimes sellers are not 100% ready to make that jump. So going into at least a weekly kind of communication, that's okay too, but you got to stay top of mind. And then I love this one, balancing persistence with patience. So using a mixture of communication can sometimes be a little bit better than just overwhelming them with one type of communication. Everybody's different too. So pay attention to how your clients like to be communicated with. You can even ask them right off the bat in that first call. How do you like to be communicated with? Is it email, calls, texts? Give them the opportunity to tell you. And then if they're like, anything is fine, using a mixture of all of them is a really good idea. Emails, calls, texts, staying top of mind, using all of your resources at your disposal. And then personalizing that content. Personalizing is really important. I know that everybody probably has drip campaigns that they put out, that they send to anybody who's in their database, but make sure that you are also going in and you're personalizing and you're tailoring some of these messages. Make sure that you are writing down and you're saving some of the details that you're learning about your clients. And then putting that into your CRM and following up with it. But also, like I said, not just putting them on a drip campaign or just putting them on a house search if they're moving or something like that. Really follow up with personalized content. And then also using data and insight from the first call. Market trends, right? This is a really good way to stay top of mind. People want to know what's happening in their neighborhood. Sometimes sellers are starting a year out in advance before they're really ready to sell. This is an incredible opportunity for you to show them what's going on in the market, and then sending that information to them so that you can kind of plot and chart what your plan of attack is going to be. And then an example of like a personalized follow-up message. Hi, your seller's name. I enjoyed our conversation yesterday. Here's the market analysis you requested, or whatever information they asked of you. Also, it's okay in your first call to even ask them, what is it that you would like from me? But then follow up on your deliverables. This is really important. They are not going to like and trust you if you're not following up on what you promised that you would. Effective communication channels. Now, we've talked about text and email and phone calls. These are all really important ones. Don't get stuck in just putting them in an email drip. Don't get stuck with just calling them and getting no answer, or just saying, I'm going to text them, unless they've said this is my preferred method of communication, of course. But detailed information is great in email form, right? If it's something that they really need to sit down and absorb and read, email. Phone calls. Phone calls are the best way for a personal touch. I know a lot of people don't answer their phones anymore, but if it's about selling their home, if it's about money, they will most likely answer your phone calls unless they're trying to avoid and ghost you. Then that's a whole different story. And then texts are a great way for you to convey quick information, and just, once again, stay top of mind with your clients. You can also leverage social media for your follow-ups. Everybody's on social media these days. So sending, reaching out, following them on social media, whether they have a LinkedIn, a Facebook, an Instagram, and even sending messages through those platforms. That's another really great tactic that I think maybe sometimes is underutilized with realtors, unless you've gotten that contact directly from Facebook. A lot of times we don't think about following up with our clients through these social media channels, but especially the younger generation, this is where they are. So it can be a really great tactic. And of course, there are pros and cons for each of these platforms. A lot of times, unless people are business people, or you've gotten a business email address, sometimes you are just getting their junk email address, and people are not regularly checking the emails. So be mindful of that. Of course, people don't answer their phones, so phone calls can sometimes be a challenge as well. And then even text messages. I know that I am guilty of reading a text message and responding in my mind, and then not actually responding via the text message. So there are benefits to each of these channels. And of course, there are drawbacks as well, but communicate with your sellers. And once again, find out which type of form of communication they prefer, and then maybe go heavier in one that they prefer, but still make sure to maintain the others. All right. Then the value added follow-up activity. Value is so important right now. What value are you bringing to your clients? It's a tough time. So we really need to make sure that we are getting out there, that we are assessing our value to these clients. So presenting useful information and resources. You are an incredible resource for your clients. You are the person in the know. You are in this industry, in the trenches every single day. So being able to convey what you know and how you are a resource is really important. You may even, have contacts that these sellers need to get their house ready to buy. So make sure that you are leveraging your resources, as well as your knowledge. So sending articles, updating them on real estate regulations, changes in the market. And then, of course, like I said, your contacts are gold. A lot of sellers need to do a little something, or sometimes it's a lot of something, to their house, especially the market that we're in right now. So be that resource. I'm going to go back to market insight and trends, right? Letting them know even the slightest changes in the market. So something like the market has seen a 5% increase in home prices over the last quarter. This is information that they need to know, and they need to know it from you. And then, of course, your resources, such as free home evaluation tools and so much more. Realtors really have just an enormous pool of resources to pull from. So make sure that you are leveraging these with your sellers as a part of your value proposition to them. And then building credibility. This is a really important one to work with your sellers as well, because once again, realtors sometimes get a bad rap out there. So really show them why they should be working with you. So testimonials and case studies, let them know what your clients' responses have been. If you're not collecting testimonials from your clients, you really need to start doing it. You can not only leverage these with potential clients, but you can leverage these on social media. You can leverage these through your email drip campaigns. We're kind of conditioned to go and look at reviews, right? Like, I know my boyfriend won't even pick out a restaurant that he's unfamiliar with without going in and reading the reviews of that restaurant. So what other people's opinions are really important to us. So making sure that you are sharing that does help you build that credibility. And then sharing your success stories and your client experiences. Now, you can share success stories as well as even your failure stories. A lot of times we do tend to shy away from the negatives in this industry because we only want to be painted in positive light, right? But a lot of times, some of these difficult deals that you do or difficult clients that you have to work with are stories of triumph, right? You overcame something that was really hard and really difficult. Your clients not only want to hear about the great deals that you did, but they really do want to hear about the struggles that you've had and how you overcame them. Because if you can overcome and you can fight for these other clients, then if there are hiccups along the way during their deal, they can know that you'll fight for them too. So once again, a really important thing to showcase. And it shows authenticity. If you're just out there saying, every deal I do is gold, everything is perfect, that's not real. You know, let's be honest here. Every deal is not perfect. So let them know that there are going to be that, or that you have dealt with difficulties. Those are really the most impactful stories that you can share, and they are a success. And then highlighting your certifications and expertise. So if you've gone above and beyond, if you've taken extra classes, if you've gotten extra certifications, let your clients know that this is how you approach your business. You didn't just get a real estate license and say, well, come to me, people, I'm the realtor now. You are continually doing things within this industry to be the best. Let them know that. And then last, but certainly not least today, let's talk a little bit about how you can make all of this communication a little easier in your life. Automation. Automation is a great time saver. So the first thing you're going to do is you need to use your CRM. Really, if you don't have and this is probably for most realtors, unless they're like data junkies, their CRMs are the last things that they want to actually sit down and do. But you need to get in there. You need to be entering every bit of information you have about your clients into your CRM. You need to be setting alerts. You need to be setting tasks. You need to be getting reminders to reach out to your clients, because even after like that first like couple of calls, you're gonna get sidetracked, you're gonna get busy, you're gonna forget to continue reaching out, and then you're gonna fall into that 44% that only does this once. If you use a CRM tool, you can really, it's a tool. It helps you to be reminded to reach out to people. It helps you to remember the information about them. And it can also automate a lot of your systems. So you can set up that automated email follow-up, right? So that that's going out without you even having to think about it. Same with social media and a lot of these things you can actually automate so that it's not just, oh my gosh, when was the last time I reached out? When was the last time I did this? Really get in there and work your CRM. I promise you, if you work your CRM, it will work really well for you. And then set up your automated follow-up, right? So making sure that you follow up every few days initially, and then weekly if no response. So once again, you can get in, and even if you don't have a CRM, you can put these things in your calendar. CRMs have calendars, so you can follow along what you need to do every couple of days. And then make sure that you're not just setting the automation and then walking away and forgetting about it. Make sure that it is also personalized. So in addition to your drip campaign, make sure that you are sending out personalized, emails, texts, calls, and then make sure that your automated email campaign is set up with their personal names. So I know like my CRM, I can either have the name taken out entirely, I can have a first name, a last name, I can personalize the greeting with it. So go in there and make sure those settings are set appropriately as well. If you're just sending out blanket emails to them and it's not personalized at all, they're going to notice that, and they're going to, they're going to feel like, I'm just here on this drip campaign and they don't really care. So even just something small like that, like having their name at the top, make sure your settings are set up correctly in your CRM. All right, guys, whew, that's the follow-up after the first call in a nutshell. Let me know if you guys have any questions. It seems very simple, but as I mentioned at the very beginning, most people are not doing these steps. So be that realtor that follows up with your clients. It is the most important thing that you can do to not only build a clientele base, but also retain your sphere. This goes beyond the sale. Most clients after the sale don't even hear from their realtor again. Maybe they're still on an email campaign, or maybe they get a Christmas card once a year, and that's most don't even do that. So take these ideas and not only implement them with prospect clients and potentially new clients, but even your old clients. These follow-up ideas and theories can be across the board for everyone that you're working with. So that's it for follow-up. We're going to be following up the rest of the month with some really great content as well. So next week, we've got agent to agent marketing coming up. So how do you find sellers agent to agent, right? There's a gold mine out there for finding sellers through other agents, and that's what we're going to talk about. And then we've got virtual marketing coming up on the 24th. So winning the listings before you even meet the first time. Yes, virtual marketing is really important. We're visual learners. We're using so much social media. That's where people are. So how are you going to market to those sellers? And then standing out in the market. So how do you maintain and how do you become a cut above the rest? That's what we're going to end the month with. Then we've got some other great classes coming up as well. Next Wednesday, we do have a CE class coming up. This one is going to be about understanding reverse mortgages. You're going to get 3 hours of general credit. It's going to be from 9 until noon over at the Atrium at Arrowhead. Summer really is a great time to kind of keep going on those CE classes and just kind of keep chipping away at it, right? You need 24 credits every 2 years. So we love offering CE classes for you guys. So RSVP, Patty is hosting that one, and get signed up and keep those credits going, right? And then on the 24th, we've got a Zoom with Patrick McQueen about the future of real estate commissions here in Arizona. This is a really good topic to discuss with your clients as well. So I encourage you, this one's it's on Zoom, right? 11 a.m. on the 24th. It's going to be about an hour. Reach out to Renee or scan that QR code and get registered for the link for that. That one's going to be really good. And then coming up in September, we've got the second annual scavenger hunt up in Prescott at our Prescott office. They did this for the first time last year and had a blast. So if you're in the Prescott area, reach out to Michelle, sign up, or if you're in the Valley, head on up to Prescott for the day. It's September 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. And then, of course, every month, even through the summer months, we still have our home tours. We've got Moon Valley on the third Thursdays at 8:30, and then Biltmore Luxury every fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Both of these are super fun tours. I've been on both of these multiple times. These are really unique neighborhoods. So this is a great, if you're not doing anything else, pop into these tours and get some content for your marketing, for your social media. Even if you're not busy right now, you can always look busy, right? And then, of course, if you've got a minute, please go ahead and fill out our Marketing Matters survey. I love hearing from you guys. These webinars are custom tailored to y'all and your needs. I study what the market trends are, and I try to bring you the most up-to-date information about them. A lot of times what we cover here on Marketing Matters is brand new information. So pat yourselves on the back for being on Marketing Matters on a regular basis, because the information that is coming to you sometimes is just, it's the next trend. Here in Phoenix, we really are trendsetters in the real estate market. And then the information that we are able to provide for you here on Marketing Matters is, I always try to stay just a click ahead of what is going on so that it comes to you guys and you are the realtors in the know. But of course, I love hearing from you all and finding out what your needs are. This is a customizable webinar. We've been doing this for 4 years. There is never a lack of topics, but I'd love to hear what you guys want covered. And then, of course, through the summer, make sure you're still reaching out to your business development manager. July is a great month to just work on some projects. Where is your business going this fall? Reach out and have our business development manager sit down and help you with these things. So you can reach out to Beth, Keith, Mary, Michael, Michelle, Patty, and Renee. They're here all summer, guys, and they would love to sit down with you. And then, of course, if you are writing a contract, please think of us to fill in with that title line, and think of us for all of your real estate title and escrow needs through the summer, through the fall, forever and ever. We have 7 offices here in the Valley to service you, 1 up in Prescott, 2 up in Nevada. So you guys, July is going to hit hard for us. It is interesting out there. It is hot out there, but real estate's always cool, right? So keep on coming back. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.